Good day, everybody. This idea of $2,000 stimulus checks is getting more and more support. And if you look here, we have 3 million signatures from the American people demanding a monthly stimulus check until this pandemic is over. And then we have Kyrsten Sinema. She is one of the main reasons why this stimulus package continues to shrink, along with Joe Manchin, of course. Well, now a lot of Democrats are calling to try and remove her from the Democratic Party. She is the Democratic senator from Arizona, and a lot of people are saying that she might not get enough Democratic support to win her re-election. So let's discuss the details in this video, but before we do, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. I also have a second channel, so if you could do me a huge favor, click on the link that's in the description of this video, subscribe to my second channel. I'm going to be giving away a stimulus check on that one, just as a thank you for supporting my work. Okay, so just think about a $2,000 stimulus check and what that would do for seniors throughout this crisis. Just tell me in the comments, what would you do with a $2,000 stimulus check, which would be a massive increase to your monthly benefit? I know a lot of people who comment on my videos say, I can't even pay my bills. I can't even buy healthy food. I have to go and buy the unhealthiest food because it's cheapest because my Social Security benefit is so small. Now, we have 3 million people who have signed a petition for $2,000 per month stimulus checks until the pandemic is officially over. Then we have Bernie Sanders trying to do a $1,000 stimulus check, and then the Senior Citizens League that wants to do a $1,400 stimulus check specifically for seniors. So there is a lot of support for stimulus checks, including monthly stimulus checks. Of course, we already have families getting $300 per month. So why shouldn't seniors get a monthly stimulus check as well? Let me know in the comments if you agree. Well, obviously Joe Manchin is an issue, and Kyrsten Sinema continues to be an issue as well. The Democratic senator from Arizona is now getting a lot of pressure from Democrats to go along, to get along. And even those closest to her have said that she is prioritizing donors. So pharmaceutical companies, billion-dollar corporations that are giving her money, she is prioritizing their desires over what the American people want and what the American people need. So much, in fact, that a lot of those that were closest to her just quit, saying that she has become one of the biggest obstacles for progress and answering to her donors rather than the American people. These are the people that were closest to her that are saying this. Then on top of that, liberal Democrats in Congress are saying that if she does not get on board with the stimulus package, when she is up for re-election in 2024, they will not give her the support that she needs to win that re-election. Because Kyrsten Sinema runs as a moderate Democrat, but in order to win Arizona, she needs liberal voters to vote for her as well. So usually liberal Democrats will vouch for her, liberal Democrats in Congress will vouch for her to get her the progressive vote and then allow her to win Arizona. Well, they are saying that unless she gets on board with the stimulus package, that is not going to happen. Now, this report describes the fact that even those that were closest to her just walked out. 5 of her closest employees walked out and quit because she continues to prioritize millionaire and billionaire donors rather than the American people. So let's quickly take a look at this report.
A 9-way teeter-totter. That's how one senior White House official described the negotiations among Democrats over President Biden's multi-trillion-dollar legislative agenda to Politico. Now, the ongoing talks between the White House, progressives, and moderates have yielded a series of concessions, but no firm framework just yet. According to our friends over at Punchbowl News, Democrats have a new strategy, isolating Senator Kyrsten Sinema. According to Punchbowl, they think it will be more productive to get West Virginia's Joe Manchin on board and, quote, then dare Sinema to block it. Now, Manchin has made demands on everything from the top-line price to removing climate change initiatives. Here he was talking about the state of talks earlier today.
Senator, President Biden has floated $1.9 trillion. Is that acceptable?
Well, I'm saying negotiations are ongoing. I've been at 1.5, and I've been very upfront with everybody, and we're still talking to the White House, and we will continue to. Well, that's negotiation.
Now, Sinema wasn't as talkative this morning, and she refused to answer questions posed by our own Ali Vitale, who you see right there. But Sinema is increasingly under pressure, even, it seems, from her own inner circle. The New York Times was first to report today that 5 veterans who advised Sinema have resigned. In a letter, they wrote to her, quote, "You have become one of the principal obstacles to progress, answering to big donors rather than to your own people. And we shouldn't have to buy representation from you." All right, joining us now from the White House is my colleague, NBC News White House correspondent Monica Alba. So, Monica, we don't know what we don't know about the private conversations among the White House and progressives and moderates, but we do know that the White House has dramatically downsized their ambitions, and yet there seems to be still no deal in hand. What's the state of play? What are White House officials telling you today?
Exactly, Jeff. It's not just the price tag that's shrinking here. It's also the amount of time left to try to get something done, which the White House is keenly aware of. And they have been in a very behind-the-scenes mode yesterday and today with these flurry of meetings and calls. Ahead of tonight, the president participating in a town hall where he is going to be pressed on all of these kinds of questions. And he, I'm told by White House officials, is still going to strike this note as the always optimist, that he still believes something can get done here. But we're talking about things that were complete pillars of his programs, and this agenda now being stripped out, the length of time, and something that for a while wasn't as much of a subject of debate, how to pay for it. Remember that for months the president has been saying the price tag of this is zero, that all of it would be paid for by increasing the corporate tax rate, adding taxes to the wealthiest Americans and corporations, and that now seems to be in doubt. So those are the really, really critical matters that we're going to be pressing the White House on when they hold a briefing here shortly, but that the president is going to have to answer for himself. And in particular, when it comes to Senators Manchin and Sinema, we were told not to rule out that lawmakers could be coming to the White House again this afternoon before the president does leave for Baltimore. We haven't seen that happen. So again, we know a lot of these conversations are happening over the phone, but for the longest time, we were discussing that Senator Manchin wasn't saying exactly where he was, what his parameters were. We do know those now. The bigger question is, where does Senator Sinema actually stand? And did the White House know for a long time that she was opposed to this corporate tax rate, that really the entirety of this bill hinges on at this point? That's something critical we're going to be asking about this afternoon.
So this idea of taxing the super rich, just making sure the super rich are paying their fair share so we can end senior poverty, increase Social Security benefits, approve more stimulus checks for seniors, increase monthly Social Security benefits for seniors. This idea of taxing the super rich and just making sure they're paying their fair share does not sit well with Kyrsten Sinema. Well, now it's gotten to the point where, one, it's been exposed that she does not want to raise the corporate tax. But really all President Biden wants to do is raise it halfway to where it used to be before the Trump tax cuts, right? So these tax rates were already in place, actually higher before. Well, President Biden was asked about Kyrsten Sinema and what he thinks about her stance on not raising taxes and not lowering drug costs for seniors. So let's quickly take a look and see President Biden's reaction.
We've talked a lot about Senator Manchin and Senator Sinema. You seem relatively confident you can kind of get Senator Manchin on board. There's a lot of Democrats in the House and Senate who are confused about where Senator Sinema actually stands on things. And I know she's been negotiating directly with you and the White House. What is your read on her? And obviously, you need her to remain positive in your direction, so I don't know what you're going to say. But what is your read on her? Do you know where she stands?
First of all, she's smart as the devil, number one. Number two, she's very supportive of the environmental agenda in my legislation. Very supportive. She's supportive of almost all the things I mentioned relating to everything from family care to all those issues. Where she's not supportive is she says she will not raise a single penny in taxes on the corporate side and/or on wealthy people, period. And so that's where it sort of breaks down. There's a few other issues it breaks down on. But what we're trying to do is reach a point here where I'm able to present to the Senate, they're able to vote on, and the House, a serious piece of legislation that changes the dynamic for working class folks in America and middle class folks, and begins to have the very wealthy and corporate just begin to pay their fair share. Not a lot. How we get there, We're down to 4 or 5 issues, which I'm not going to negotiate on national television, as you might guess.
We'd be interested in hearing them if you want.
No, I know. But all kidding aside, I think we can get there.
Okay, President Biden is being really kind of soft on Kyrsten Sinema. He's not really attacking her. He's not putting the pressure on her. This is a very different tactic than Bernie Sanders' take. I mean, we've seen Bernie Sanders attack Joe Manchin personally, like verbally. We've seen him write letters in West Virginia kind of blasting Joe Manchin for not wanting to expand Medicare and approve stimulus checks for seniors in his own home state. And then we see Joe Biden, the way he reacts to Kyrsten Sinema. He says, she's smart, she's really smart, she's smart as the devil, she supports the climate change. There's just a couple of things she doesn't like, but we're going to get it done. But personally, I think President Biden is sugarcoating it. I mean, this entire package has to be paid for. And the main way, 90% of it was going to be paid for by taxing the super rich, taxing billionaire corporations, and taxing those who make more than $400,000 per year. And President Biden just announced, basically, that she is not on board with any of that. Now, for some reason, she is not on board with taxing the super rich to end senior poverty. Again, to expand Social Security benefits, to approve monthly stimulus checks for seniors. This is something that almost every single Democrat in Congress is on board with, except, of course, Joe Manchin, but he is on board with the tax increase. He's okay with raising taxes on the rich. He's just not okay with things like climate change and things like that. But Kyrsten Sinema does not want to raise taxes on the rich. Now, she has become such an issue, even more so than Joe Manchin, that the liberal fraction of the Democratic Party is saying, we're not going to support her when it comes for her reelection, so therefore she's not going to get the progressive vote in Arizona, and she's going to lose reelection in Arizona if she doesn't get on board. Now, guys, let me know in the comments if you agree with that. Do you think Democrats in Congress should threaten Kyrsten Sinema with retracting their support of her, which would make her lose progressive votes and then probably lose reelection unless she gets on board with the stimulus package? Do you guys support that idea? Because liberal Democrats are now playing hardball with Kyrsten Sinema. Now let's quickly take a look at this clip, which describes the frustration that liberal Democrats have with Kyrsten Sinema, and let me know your thoughts in the comments below.
Is experiencing both the perks and the pitfalls of power today. Without her vote, the Biden agenda cannot pass the Senate. So the president has her on speed dial, and the White House keeps rewriting its social safety net plan to accommodate the senator's views. But, it's a big but, more and more liberals are losing patience with the Arizona Democrat. CNN's Manu Raju, in some new reporting, puts it this way. Sinema is at the zenith of her influence in Washington, but how she has handled her growing power in the 50-50 Senate has also cost her something else. Support from the left in Arizona, with progressives warning she is now at risk of becoming a political pariah and is potentially vulnerable in a 2024 Democratic primary battle. Manu Raju joins us now live from Capitol Hill with more. So prominence brings friends, but also potential enemies.
Yeah, no question about it. And one of the reasons why you're hearing so many concerns from Democrats on the record, from liberals in particular, is because of the way she has carried out these talks. She has made her concerns known directly to the White House, to Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, and that's pretty much it. And things are sort of in a black box for most Democrats, and as they're seeing the reports about how their bill, their push to expand the social safety net is just getting chipped away by one provision after the other, in part because of Sinema's opposition. And there's concern, there's potential warnings from progressives that she could be vulnerable in a 2024 primary challenge. One congressman, Ruben Gallego, has been talked about for some time as a possible primary challenger. I talked to him about the prospect of challenging Sinema in 2024. And he told me, I think the sentiment that I'm hearing out there, voters in Arizona are upset with her, especially Democratic voters.
I mean, we were on the brink of getting monthly stimulus checks, and she doesn't want that in this package. We have people like Bernie Sanders pushing for a $1,000 stimulus check for seniors, and then other groups even pushing for a $1,400 stimulus check for seniors. But Kyrsten Sinema does not want that for the American people, and she does not even want to tax the rich in order to pay for this stimulus package. Now, guys, let me know in the comments. Do you truly think that Kyrsten Sinema cares about the American people? Or do you think that she is just serving her donors who paid her to get her into office? Let me know in the comments below. Because as negotiations go on, it's looking more and more clear. Like Kyrsten Sinema is serving the billionaires who gave her money for her campaign, and now she doesn't want to do what's right for the American people. I mean, 5 members of her own council said this. 5 veteran members quit, saying that she is serving the billionaire donors that gave her money for the campaign and not doing what's right for the American people, so much so that they walked out and quit. And if that doesn't speak volumes, I don't know what does. So this is terribly frustrating as the American people continue to struggle. Seniors continue to struggle and wait for stimulus to be approved. We have someone like Kyrsten Sinema standing in the way. And while Joe Manchin has been frustrating as well, he does seem to now be negotiating towards a stimulus package with Democrats. But Kyrsten Sinema is the lone piece that still is not trying to work on a deal. I mean, if she doesn't want to tax the rich, there is no deal. And it's going to be very hard to come to a deal with Kyrsten Sinema. But we do have reports that leadership in Congress is staying in D.C. this weekend to try and continue working on a deal. So Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, these top Democratic leaders are staying in D.C., so we might have a lot of updates this week. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will keep you posted as things develop. Democrats continue to work on the American Family Stimulus Plan, the Physical Stimulus Plan, as well as increasing Social Security benefits as well. So don't forget to subscribe, and I will keep you posted. And with that said, until the next video, take care and have a great day.